Okay, everybody, here we go. This is the Triple B Unscripted. I'll shut up now.
Well, hey. Well, now we're Fat Albert here. But welcome. That was Fat Albert, right? Hey. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know who Bushmouth is, right? No?
Anyway, welcome to the Triple B Unscripted, where we're unscripted, uncut, uncensored, and straight to YouTube. So I am one of the hosts, Gary. We have another host, Cable, and Bob today. I don't know.
I'm still up top on my tablet. My laptop. I'm still up top.
He's always got to be on top.
No, I never like it. Sometimes I like being on the bottom sometimes, but hey, it is what it is.
But anyway, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Indiana County's finest, the reason you're all here, Bad Bubba Brewer.
Thank you.
How's it going, guys?
Good. As you guys can tell, Bubba's a few Mountain Dews in already. He's feeling himself. He's doing good.
I usually don't drink this, Cable. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I was parched.
So, I love that Bubba is like a kid, and if he has too much sugar, he gets excitable.
Yeah, I love that. He's excitable tonight. Yeah. It's going to be a good show. But real quick before we get started, it is a holiday, boys. Men, sorry, not boys, men. It is a holiday today. It is a kickoff of the NFL season. The first game is tonight, Thursday night. So
on the Peacock Network, that's what I'm watching it on.
I don't watch it on the Peacock Network.
I wanted to try it out.
I'm about this close to canceling my Peacock Network.
Ooh.
But anyway, I'm about over it. But yeah, good segue in. I'm going to hit the timer. We are on the clock for 45 minutes.
Here we go, Cable. Can we make it? Can we make it?
It will be hard to put everything we want to talk about into 45 minutes, but I think the main thing we want to talk about tonight, I could be wrong, but AEW All Out. Sound about right?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's going to be tough to even keep that in 45 minutes.
Exactly. So where do we begin? Why don't we just go down the card? How about that? We'll just go down the card, and we'll go from there. But wow. What a night. It was the most watched AEW pay-per-view ever. And a lot of great things come out of this, that night. And Tony Khan himself did an interview with CM Punk after, I don't know if you saw it, but he gives all the credit to CM Punk and, wholeheartedly claims that CM Punk changed all their lives, which is crazy because I know Vince McMahon would never say that. But
Vince McMahon would never come out and thank everybody at a live show more than once. He wouldn't do it. I mean, he's Vince McMahon. He doesn't have to do it. But
I guess not. But I don't know. I'm starting to think being Vince McMahon starting to bite him in the ass. But that's my opinion.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I just don't think he cares.
Oh, I think he cares. He definitely cares now that little pissant company that he claims is kicking him in the ass. So he's going to care. Will he live through it? I don't know. That's one thing.
Yeah, that's true too. But AEW doesn't do like comedy stupid shit.
Yeah. That's right. Like Bubba was saying, I think the way Vince views his company, and we've heard it forever, he doesn't look at it as a wrestling company. No. So in his mind, they're not even competition with each other. They're in two completely different walks of life. And I'm fine with that because that's what's great about AEW. They're wrestling.
Yeah, well, I think at one point, whenever the AEW came on, he was thinking that. But now I think it's became competitive with the pendulum swinging over to AEW slightly. And you know how competitive Vince is. And I think he's starting to panic. Look at all the changes that they're making. And I just don't know what's going through their head. But I'm sure we'll get into that more. But back to the AEW All Out pay-per-view, we start off.
A lot of hype for this show, though. A lot of hype for this pay-per-view. More hype than I possibly can ever see in a long, long time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And, that hype, not only was it a good card, but the hype, was around CM Punk.
And you didn't want to miss it. This is the one.
But again, it was just an all-around good card. It would have been, even without Punk, I still think it would have been great.
Yeah, because you look at that card, and the only one that jumps off the paper that, at least in my eyes, I wasn't excited for was QT Marshall and Paul White.
Yeah,
and I wasn't too worried about it. And then you think what could have been, which not that it needed improved, but the original card had Andrade versus Pac also, and then they couldn't do it.
Yeah. So now it's on Rampage for tomorrow.
Right. So, I mean, that would have put it even more over the top. But yeah, that card, just before it even started, that card looked awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So we kind of began the night with Best Friends and Jurassic Express versus the Hardys Family Office, which I'll be honest with you, I hate the Hardy Family Office. I think it killed Private Party, and I just hate it.
Yeah, God. I agree. There's no Private Party there. They just second-rate fiddles now.
I think the Hardy Family Office is one of like the downsides to AEW to me. And to think that when Hardy came in, he was pretty highly anticipated. Like, he had a hell of a pop that night when he came in. I remember that, but gosh, the new gimmick that he's trying, like what is it? Big money or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No.
Mind him doing it, because in my eyes, like, I know he's super over and stuff, but I was never really excited about Matt Hardy. I haven't been for a long time. So that's great for him to do, but don't drag all this young, fresh talent down with you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much that is with creative or not. I know that, from what I understand, that a lot of this talent, they do have some creative control. Something I think we'll talk about maybe a little bit later on. I think they do. So I don't know if he does or not, but I just don't like it.
Yeah, the one upside is it gives everybody something to do, because they have a ton of stables in AEW, but if they weren't coming out together, you wouldn't get to see them at all. Maybe
everybody's got a dynasty.
Yep. Yeah, no kidding. But anyway, Best Friends and Jurassic Express end up defeating the Hardy Family Office via submission.
Jungle Boy's money. I like Jungle Boy. I don't know why I do, but I do.
I do too.
More than Luchasaurus.
I can't put my finger. I think Luchasaurus is.
I think he's okay. I think it's great. The gimmick's great. Me, I like gimmicks, and the tag team stuff is good. I like the song. I don't even know who else sings it, but I didn't like 90210, but I do like Jungle Boy. Why? Well, I mean, his dad was Luke Perry. I mean, his dad was
who sings that song?
Fucking famous, man.
Yeah. But Jungle Boy, well, Jurassic Express in general, they are very over. Like, that both nights when we were there, guys, like, it just, the pop for them is just amazing. And I don't know what it is either, but I like Jungle Boy too. And he's not that big, but he's like good. As a
technician. Yeah. I mean, he's so smooth. Everything he does looks so good.
Well, it just proves that you don't have to be 7 something and 400 pounds to be over. But yeah,
that was a good opening match. I mean, it wasn't. It got everybody on that card because they weren't in any matches before that. So it showed like everybody except for that Dante Martin.
Yeah, which that kid's money too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But the rock, and like I said, we'll get into this, but I think the roster's getting a little too big. But I'm sure, like I said, we'll talk about it because Adam Page wasn't on this either. I don't know what's going on there.
I think he's home with his wife, isn't he?
Yeah, they had a baby.
I know they were pregnant, but I didn't know that it was that far along. So
I don't know if they had it yet, but it's very soon.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just some time off for him. There's no injury or anything.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of people thought was because he was originally, they thought that they were going to go ahead with the Kenny Omega title match. Yeah. But why have him come in and win the title when CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and everybody are going to steal all the limelight anyway?
Yeah, it's just going to take a backseat.
Son of a bitch. Antonio Brown just scored a touchdown. I know we're getting off topic. That's bitch. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So what was the opener match?
But that was the opener match.
Oh yeah.
But for the main card was Miro versus Eddie Kingston. With Miro going over, which wasn't a bad match. I don't think I'm in love with Eddie Kingston as much as everybody else.
I like his promos. But he's gritty, Mav. He's gritty, and people like flock to him because he's close to dying, and he's still clinging on, and he
feels real.
He's relatable some people. He's not relatable to me. Cable, I just got to say this. Your screen keeps freezing. Just so
freeze frame.
Just so you know. But anyway, but we are unscripted, uncut, all that good stuff. So it is what it is. But anyway, Eddie Kingston's relatable to a lot of people. Not so much to me. I don't love him. He's just one of those guys, even, in ROH and stuff like that. I just never got into it. I know he's a brawler and stuff like that, but
you think when Bryce Reemsberg, boy, I mean, when he tried to stop him from doing that, I mean, that was good. They're going to have a rematch.
Yeah,
like he was kicking the shit and hanging tough with Miro. He was kicking the shit out of him for a little bit.
No, it was a good match. I would give it a B. For sure.
It was really solid.
And don't you like Miro's promos? Like, don't you just? I'm the Redeemer, and my wife will take my redeeming nuts. It's awesome.
I enjoy him in AEW more than I did WWE for sure.
I agree.
And one of the things about watching his promo or a guy like Eddie Kingston is like all this stuff that Miro spits out. Maybe it's not gold, but you could tell that it's his. Like he's not being fed a script. It doesn't feel packaged and cookie cutter. It's him working on his own character.
You would never think that he's a video game nerd, judging by his,
no,
gimmick.
He's not your typical. He's not your typical game nerd. He's like the guy, like the Dungeon and Dragon guy from Pittsburgh who married a girl from Modern Family. You wouldn't expect him to be. So he's not typecasting as the guy that sits in the basement and plays video games, where he could like pull the sink out from under you and smash your head over with a commode or something. He's a big dude. I'm telling you. When I met him, he scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, well, like I said, I like him better in AEW. I wasn't real high on him in WWE, and again, that goes back to creative. But still can't say like I look forward to seeing him every Wednesday.
But you're supposed to, because he's the TV champ. He should be defending that belt every week and going against somebody else, and they're not doing that like they should.
Because again, I think
they have too many people.
Big. But it's just like I said, I don't love him. I don't love either of them. I don't hate either of them. I think they're fine. But it was a good match. They both put on a good match. I give credit where it's due. I
didn't think they opened a show with that.
No, but the way they broke it up, I thought was perfect.
Yeah. Up with a title match. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
To pick off what you were saying, Miro is not a face or a guy I think of when you bring up AEW. There's so many other people he just doesn't. But when he's on the card, I don't not look forward to his matches or think that he's just a good, solid
he's
guy
a good
on the roster, and he'll put in a good match, and which is I think
should he be TNT champ? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good fit because
nobody should beat him for a long time.
I agree with that too. He can use the championship, because you don't need to put it on somebody that doesn't need a belt. Like Darby Allin, he didn't need it. I mean, I guess it helped build him, but you don't need a guy like Darby Allin.
They didn't book him with that title very well.
No, which I was pandemic era too, so that's hard, without a crowd. But all right, what was next?
Okay, so we have Moxley versus Kojima. So that's awesome. They say that glass ceiling or the forbidden ceiling's broken, right? Which is awesome that you're seeing some New Japan guys start to come in, and I think that's how this is going to work now. Especially with COVID, I can't say it's winding down. I guess it's ramping back up. But at some point, people got to live their lives, and you're starting to see the travel more. So we're going to see.
Is Moxley going to beat everybody from Japan when he comes over, though?
No. I mean, I think I don't know. Maybe they're going to do favors over here and he's going to go do favors over there. I don't know. But I know a lot of these guys have written in their contract that they're going to do New Japan. And Daniel Bryan is no different. It's in his contract that he wanted to do it. And a matter of fact, I also read, I don't know how true it is, that the AEW and WWE deal with him was comparable. And they were going to let him do New Japan. But I don't know how true that is. Like I said, that's just all over the place now. Yeah. But that's interesting because I think Vince finally realized, well, AEW is doing it and stuff like that. So why not let these guys go get work? Which is smart of AEW because, again, as I said a million times, their roster is getting too big. They need to be able to get work elsewhere as well to get the work. But yeah, that was another interesting match. Like I thought that was a good match.
He was 53 years old. He looked in shape.
Well,
stiff. Yeah. They're all going to be stiff matches.
Yeah,
but Kojima's he's a legend over there. But then it was followed up even more after the match because we had Moxley. He did go over, but then we had Suzuki come out and basically challenge. Yeah, I mean that was incredible. And I don't know how much you know about,
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought he looked to me like one of the guys extra from Big Trouble in Little China. I'm not going to lie. I don't know every Japanese guy because I just don't.
Well, and as a wrestling historian, as you are,
I don't.
I'm not saying it for New Japan, but what I'm saying is like, if you would have had access to New Japan, you would have fell in love with it because wrestling is
Antonio Inoki. I mean, I seen like the Warriors and stuff go over. I do have some tapes of Ricky Steamboat and Van Vader, but I just can't get into the announcing. I couldn't get into that, so that's why I would always shut it off, and I would watch stuff like that. But a lot of the Japanese guys, I truly don't know, and even when
I don't know all of them. Either.
I don't know all of them.
Pronounce half of their names, but. To be honest with you, I used to mute it and just watch it because I loved the style. But then I stopped doing that because even though I didn't know the length, well, yeah, but the crowd's different over there anyway. Yeah. They don't feed off the crowd like they do here. But the announcers, they would get so excited, and even I didn't understand them, but they're like going ape shit over some of the, and it just, elevated the match.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if I had a test on Japanese wrestlers, I would fail miserably.
I would too.
Long story short,
I mean, the only thing I like from
on Dynamite, but Suzuki is a badass motherfucker. Now,
I'm sure he is. Well, I don't know any Japanese guys that aren't, but I mean, I just
he's a legend over there.
I know Bruce Lee and Godzilla. That's all I truly know. I don't know anything else. I mean, and Antonio Inoki. I mean, Suzuki.
Well,
I don't know.
I know when the match is over. And then the music and the video package started up on the screen, and it said Minoru Suzuki across the screen. I popped big time just in my living room.
Well, I knew he was somebody, but I didn't know how legendary. I mean, I just never.
Oh, he's
a legend. Big. I know, but I mean,
he's just so tough. That's what he's built his reputation off of, is how hardcore he is, and with Moxley kind of being that. American tough guy that goes over there or will be going over there at some point.
He's your new Stone Cold Steve Austin 2021. That's what he is.
The swagger and stuff, the way he carries himself. He's presented as quite the badass now.
There will never be another Stone Cold, and Moxley will never get over like Austin did. But they could have, if WWE could have built that up and he could have been huge for them.
Yeah, but then a fucking cartoon. I hated Dean Ambrose so much. Like, I think you and me talked about this a lot back in the day, Mav. I fucking hated him.
Well, what irritated me was Bubs and I saw him when he was doing tryouts and dark matches for WWE, and he was phenomenal. Bubba and I would not stop raving about him. He would wear his tights. He wrestled.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the brawling style that he is now. He wrestled, and it was phenomenal. He was great.
But he looks in shape now. He looks bulkier. He's got the beard. He looks like a badass. So that's why I compare him to Stone Cold. He doesn't have to come out drinking. He does flip people off. His promos are great. And now he's just the anti-Japanese guy. So now he's going over there and wanting to kick everybody's ass. He don't care whose ass he kicks.
And they eat that up over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Japanese, they love American wrestlers. When they go over there, it is a big deal.
Right.
It is huge. They're like the Beatles going over there. Like they're a big deal. But to see him come out, and then we got the match for free on Dynamite was cool as hell.
But that match ended, as we talked. That match on Dynamite ended quickly, I believe. I think the Japanese guy got too many headbutts for real and cut him open.
It didn't end quickly. The ending was botched because instead of taking the DDT, he flipped it over, and so Dean Ambrose just covered him and got the pin. But it was supposed to be the underhook DDT to finish him off, but he flipped it over.
Okay,
and he wasn't supposed to do that.
Like it seems. I can't believe they didn't give him more time, I guess. But it was a packed Dynamite, so.
Well, he is an older.
Yeah. And I think when he got cut and busted open, he took
that's true.
He couldn't see, and
I think they called an audible.
Yeah.
But he did take that final move wrong, and like I said, I think that goes back to the language barrier too, which is tough as hell. Because if you can't communicate, that's tough.
Yeah.
Even though wrestling's a universal language, you still got to communicate.
I don't know. I don't know.
I had enough time working out matches with guys when I was speaking the same language.
That's true.
Probably on the independent circuit because they couldn't speak.
No, that's because everybody's in for themselves and nobody gives a shit about.
Too. Nobody gives it. Nobody cares.
Nope. It's an art form. It's a dance, and if you don't have the partner, it's just never going to work.
It's like you got to do this.
Well, I remember being super green and a couple guys walking me through what they were going to do at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I didn't want to say, "Whoa, can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?"
To try to remember it was the key.
Yeah.
Like they you get that those couple steps ahead, and then you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah.
But
that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yep. So. Yeah, but okay. So next we went to the AEW Women's Championship. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
You guys,
versus Chris Statlander.
You guys love her, and
she works bump into a shoot. He falls for it.
No, I just don't. I'm going to catch a lot of heat because if a lot of people are listening to this, I'm sure I catch a lot of heat. And that's what I'm looking for, people to watch our stuff on the YouTube channel. But I don't like, and Statlander was, they have a weak ladies division.
Not anymore.
I think they're still weak. I still think they have a couple.
I think their ladies division is better than WWE's at this point.
I just think that they need, like, that Jade Carhart needs a lot and Red Velvet need a little bit more. But I will say, the little Russian, she's only like 4 foot tall. Lena Hirsch, she's a tough cookie. Okay,
yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, but they just.
I think the women's division is good. I think it just needs featured more.
Needs a couple more.
Well, that'll probably be happening.
I don't know.
Instead of looking,
the night that we were there was like 3 or 4 women's matches.
I mean, they got some attractive.
It's on the dark though. But when you watch Dynamite and Rampage, you get like 2 a week or so, 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, but that's still more than what WWE's doing, even under dark.
And they're better matches usually.
Well, I think so. I mean, besides Charlotte, Becky doesn't do anything for me anymore.
I still think Sasha is the best in WWE, which I know a lot of people, that's divisive because she botches a lot. But I think she only botches because she tries so many out of the box ideas.
The best one besides Charlotte was Bayley.
Yeah,
Bayley, and there's a big gaping hole.
Yeah.
But I just think Britt Baker in that match, like, I mean, I knew she was going over. They weren't going to give it to Statlander, but they have Reba. Is she dating Jim Ross
Rebel.
or what? Rebel? Is she? But and then the blonde girl, Hater. Like I like she's got all this entourage, and if
she's
Hater
a character project,
that's it. And it's I just don't.
See, I think I fall in the middle ground between you guys because I'm not really big on her in-ring work. I think she's probably the best female promo in the entire business right now. But I think this was probably her best match on last Sunday. Like I saw a lot of improvement in that match in my eyes. And maybe it was her partner because Statlander's good. She's solid too.
Yeah, well, you're only as good as your partner.
Right. But I thought it was a good match. I liked it.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot. But I like Britt Baker, and not just because she's from hometown. I just think, I don't know. I like it. I think it's a cool gimmick, and I like it. I would give it a B. I thought the match was good.
I'd go like B- probably.
When they get more competition, it's actually good. Do you think she can hang with them?
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
I'm catching a lot of heat, but
I don't think she would keep up with the best women. Like she could go with the best, but I think she would be a solid. She can work through a match with somebody that has a better skill set than her and put together a good match.
If Flair ever rolled out and came, it's two different apples and oranges. There's no way she couldn't do it.
I think she could.
I don't think she could.
I do.
It's apples and oranges. I know.
It's elevating who you're working with too.
Yeah, I don't think she's any worse than, some of the stuff that
I just think they need a little bit more polish.
Eva Marie,
that's all sex. She's all for the sex symbol stuff. But the polish, they need some ladies in AEW that are polished now.
Okay,
because not that I'm a pro.
Who are the top women in WWE?
WWE would be Charlotte. Charlotte, Becky, Neidhart, Bianca Belair. Who else?
I don't think Bianca's any better than Britt. I think Bianca's more athletic. I think she gets carried through a match just like Britt does.
I think Baker's got better promo skills than Bianca, but Bianca's a better athlete.
Yeah.
And also, she's been on a bigger stage.
Well, yeah.
So, AEW is great. AEW is great, but until they start selling stadiums out, I like AEW, don't get me wrong, but
WWE's women's division is not selling stadiums out.
No, not like it, but it used to. It would.
There was a point where the WWE's women's division was the only thing worth watching, but we're not there anymore. No, they've gone back downhill.
But they got to get.
How many did you name right there, Bubs?
I think I named 4, and then Bailey 5.
So that's 5. Okay.
But really, they only have Statlander and Britt Baker, and actually Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is my girl. Thunder Rosa should be champ. I like Thunder Rosa.
Take Conti's
Britt Baker.
Take Conti's solid. Now Soho.
Kira Hoagland. Yeah, she was. I think she was. She looks good, and but nothing.
My favorite, and I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong. I'm sorry, but she was the former champ. But
the Japanese girl.
She's great. Hukira.
I
think she's phenomenal. I really like her.
She's real good. She's probably her and Thunder Rosa are probably the best.
Yeah, I agree.
And Nyla Rose. Nothing against her, but no.
She does what she does.
She's an awesome Kong 2000.
Riho's good. She's the other Japanese. She's good whenever she gets work.
Serena Deeb's good, but she's not.
She's real good. So that'd be the top 3 with Baker, Statlander, Thunder Rosa, and Deeb. That'd be 4 right there. So it's a little better. It's a little comparison, but I'm just not. They're not where they need to be. That's just my opinion.
No, that's fine. I don't think anything that WWE's producing, not only the women's, but anything WWE's doing isn't where it needs to be.
If Flair ever showed up, Britt Baker ain't got a chance in hell.
I think she could go with, because I think Britt Baker. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to go with Bailey or Sasha or. It's just a different. I don't know. I don't think she could go against. That's a different apples and oranges. One of those 3 went over there. To me, Charlotte's number 1 overall, but I think Britt Baker's every bit as good as the rest of the WWE roster.
I think Bailey's probably Bailey and Charlotte are probably up there. But I mean, hey, I know we're getting off the beaten path, but that match was okay. Hopefully they get some new ladies in there, and we'll talk about.
Just give them more time. I think they'll all improve too.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Like I said, I think that one would be a B for me as well.
Yep.
So then we go on to the AEW Tag Team Championship, which is the Young Bucks, which were the champions, versus the Lucha Brothers. What do you guys think?
Brutal.
What a match. What a match.
Yeah. Those two teams were made for each other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And I was talking about that with my buddy Josh that, you couldn't ask for a better dance partner.
Well, the Lucha Brothers have a better winning record against the Young Bucks. I think they've wrestled 8 times, and they're like, 5-3 or 9 times. I mean, they have a winning record. The Young Bucks has only beat them 3 times. I mean, and
they beat them for 2 titles now because they beat them for the AAA tag titles back in 2019 at All Out, and now they just beat them for the AEW.
And well deserving, you know what I mean? And hey, the Young Bucks weren't selfish, and
an inventive way on using a fucking tennis shoe,
especially an expensive Nike Jordan.
Yeah, dude, I love the heel work of the Young Bucks coming out dressed like douchebags, and like when Matt had the shoe and the postulating he was doing towards the camera and stuff, like. They're so good because the AEW, guys like
those your boys.
That's right, and the Young Bucks.
They're one of the best tag teams ever.
And his list it was limited edition.
And then they went over the Road Warriors.
They fucking did not.
I have the pictures to prove it.
No, maybe on your action figure WrestleMania fucking 2021, but not in real life.
Just an FYI, guys, just a time check here. We're about a half hour in.
Oh, Jesus.
But anyway.
I knew
it. But anyway, spent too much time debating female wrestling. But definitely an A+ for me. I thought this match was great. Like I said, Young Bucks are doing some great heel work. But here's the thing. Guys, they're not reinventing the wheel here. The Elite is not reinventing the wheel. They're doing things that have been done before, but AEW's letting these guys work and be creative, and but it's all been done before. They are the NWO of 2021, essentially,
or the Horsemen.
I don't.
Well, if you don't include Gallows and Anderson, because in some promos they don't even get mentioned. They don't.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really the Elite. They were when it was
a Bullet Club.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Mav. A+, and my final thought on that is I love that AEW is going on 2 years now, and just now Lucha Bros are getting the tag titles because them and the Bucks were the favorites to be the original tag champs.
Right. And the Bucks didn't get it right away either. So
right. I mean, it's great what they've done, and it just made it feel that much more special. Seeing Pentagon with his kids and the spot where he dove in front of
everywhere, his mask hanging off.
Which you can tell they ran over time because as soon as he went down to get his kids, they were trying to hustle him back. To the ring, so they were over on time.
It happens, Mav. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen tonight. But anyway, so anyway, the Casino Battle Royal. So we saw the debut of Ruby Soho. I thought it was a good battle royal.
They like her, but I just want to know: did you guys see Jade when her fucking top was coming? She was fixing her shit every time. Like, it was going to pop out. Like, next time, I think that's what – she couldn't really do much because her shit was popping out.
Yeah.
And she was holding it and doing whatever.
That's she was in a match yet. Also, I mean, it wasn't a straightforward match, but she doesn't get a lot of ring time because she squashes everybody.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But, no, I thought it was good. I thought it was good to see Ruby in there. She adds to the division. And,
absolutely.
Doesn't surprise me.
She can wrestle, and it adds to stuff. And that genre, the punk Like, I'm not into that stuff, but a lot of people are, and they cheered for her, and she was very emotional because I heard her interview after with Tony Khan, and she was, he's just signing everybody. So, I mean, he's going to run out of signing checks here pretty soon.
I like her because she can work, and she's a good worker.
Yeah,
but
she worked the other last night.
Apart. Like, she stands out, and she's a good worker. She's been around for a long time. She's a veteran. But a great sign for the women's division.
And she worked Dynamite against Jane Hayter, and that Hayter girl is not that good.
But I don't know how long she's been wrestling.
I don't think so. But I mean, I like Ruby. As she's going to go against Britt Baker because she won that Battle Royal. So we shall see.
Then we move on to MJF versus Chris Jericho, which I didn't think it was a bad match. Buddy that was texting me didn't. He's like, it happened. I don't think he enjoyed the match. When I watched it, I thought it was pretty decent, though it wasn't, the standout of the card for me. But I thought it was pretty good. And Jericho finally went over on MJF via submission. So
that was fine. I was okay with that, and I'm not.
On any other time when all this stuff wasn't happening, I think that would have been one of the highlights of the
right. And that was his longest. It wasn't his longest feud, but it was his longest storyline. He said ever, because someone's like, "That's our longest feud," and Jericho's like, "No, that was the longest storyline with somebody I ever had."
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm not on Jericho's in-ring work anymore. No, it is. But he needs to be there, He was the first big name they had. They needed somebody that would put butts in seats for this new startup company. And his character work, like always, is great.
Yeah, it was great. And he was there to help the boys out, and I think he served a purpose. Like I said, his in-ring work,
Hey, MJF last night's promo in Cincinnati was off the charts.
I like what they're doing with Pillman Jr. Keeping him in the mix. That's cool. Hopefully that continues, even though they're not going to be in Cincinnati all the time.
Just let him talk like he's talking, and there's your attitude. Like, they're doing attitude error just on the promos alone, and he is all that.
Yeah,
what he said to Pillman last night, that wasn't even attitude error. That was ECW Dudley's trash talk.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's got it. So, but anyway, on to CM Punk, the infamous return of CM Punk versus Darby Allin. I liked it. I thought they did good. Punk looks like Punk. I'll say this again. I've always liked CM Punk. It's more of the same with Punk. I didn't think we saw anything new, but we didn't have to because it still felt fresh since we haven't seen him in a while. Though Punk's one of those guys that he doesn't do much. And he doesn't have to. He gets over with what he does. And
did you like his tights?
I didn't mind him.
I don't think I've ever seen him in tights. I can't remember.
I can't remember him being in tights. It's better than the shorts he used to wear in Ring of Honor, the basketball shorts, which I couldn't stand those. I like the short trunks on him, but I thought he was going to come out with like an MMA style trunk with with sponsors and shit, because he tried doing that in WWE and they shot him down. Vince wouldn't let him. So
he looked in shape though.
But then they let Brock Lesnar do it with Jimmy John's. Just saying. Yeah. But there's always an exception to the rule, which really pissed Punk off. But anyway, I thought that's what we were going to see some sponsorship and stuff, but we didn't. He was wearing the long tights, which I was fine with.
Did he look in shape to you?
I don't like shaving my legs.
I thought he looked in shape. I thought he looked very, very good.
Well, he should be. He's been in MMA.
He was never a ripped guy either.
No, but he looked in shape, and I didn't think he would actually. I thought something was going to be where it was going to be screwed something. Somebody was going to come out and screw this match up, and then eventually there wasn't going to get a winner, and then these two would have tagged up against the person or people that screwed up this match, but that wasn't the case.
I think they did it perfect. I mean, my 2 cents on the tights real quick, too. This was cool. This isn't an original idea of mine. I heard it, but I like it. I thought he'd come out in the trunks, and I was like, what is this when he came out in the tights? But he's got his own AEW look now, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's AEW Punk.
That's another action figure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cable will have to unbox for us on the showcase.
They announced he's going to be in a wave coming up soon. They fast-tracked a figure for him.
I'm sure they did.
I was really curious to see what you thought of it, Mav, because I know you and me had been watching Punk for a real long time, and then I didn't see most of his WWE run because that was when I wasn't watching wrestling. But I've gone back and watched stuff on the network. But I loved the pacing of the match. Like I thought it was a really good spot.
Which could have been bad because Darby can be quick, quicker than Hiccup.
Yeah, but he's technical. He's really slick with his movements and everything. And I liked, that they put a match like not in the middle, but close to the middle. That just had this slow build where you saw all these matches that were quick pace and action packed or hard hitting, and this one starts out, and that's what you should expect with CM Punk's first match in all those years. But the spot with the coffin drop was beautiful. Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was a great match overall. They complemented each other better than I thought.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great, and then of course on to the next thing. CM Punk's trolling people on the internet again. He found an FTW hat in the gym apparently, and he said there's only 3 people in this world that would leave this hat in the gym or something like that, or so I figure that they were moving him towards somebody with Team Taz. Then yesterday and on Dynamite, it solidified it when Taz interrupted.
Well, that's good though that he's working up to get him some stuff and showcasing other guys against him. So him going against Team Taz will be great.
I didn't think they were going to go that direction. I thought they would have went with somebody else, a little more high profile.
He's just going to keep working. I mean, Ricky Starks is real good. They could talk on the mic.
Yeah, he's good.
And then a little bit of rub of CM Punk on Ricky Starks and a little feud would be good.
Yeah.
Taz is kid ain't worth shit.
You get the big banner match, his first match back with Darby Allin, and then you start working them with guys that could, like Bubba said, use a little bit of the rub. And then eventually, at some point you get to Omega or Danielson or whoever. But
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm all for building it up, but I just didn't know. I didn't know if they should have went the direction of Team Taz. But hey, whatever. They only have so many hills at this point. But yeah, I'd give that match a B+ probably. Just because
I give it the same.
It wasn't what I expected, but I liked it. Like you said, the pacing. I thought they complemented each other well.
Yep.
But then they had to have the downer match as they always do before they work up to the.
Well, that was to go take a piss or go get some chips or go get another beer.
Yeah, this one wasn't my favorite though. I do think QT Marshall isn't terrible. He serves a purpose. I don't know why. I kind of like. Yeah, I kind of like him. I don't know.
But, the Big Show is the Big Show.
But they don't need the Big Show.
They don't. But he got the wrestle.
They don't need him to wrestle.
No.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not often.
No.
But
no. And if.
But it wasn't the worst thing. Better than I thought. So
it was quick.
I see.
It was quick. They knew what it was. Yeah, in and out. Yeah, I would say like a C- probably.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. But it was just the, give everybody a break from Punk to the World Championship.
Yeah, you need some little buffer. You need a little buffer. You can't have 3 matches in a row that are, 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4 or something, or Dave Meltzer ratings or whatever. You can't have that. Not every match is going to be.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
Dave Meltzer anyway. But anyway.
But then we work our way to the AEW World Championship. Kenny Omega, the champion, versus Christian Cage, which again, when we saw those two face off at Rampage, the first ever Rampage in Pittsburgh, I didn't know what to expect out of Christian. I didn't really know how well he would hang with Kenny Omega, but once again, he proved that he could, and I thought it was a really good match. I would say B+ even. I thought they did a good match.
Yeah.
So
I knew he wasn't going to win. I knew he wasn't going to win, but I knew it was going to be a good match.
Even if the pay-per-view ended there, I felt like I would have been happy.
Right. Yeah.
It was a good pay-per-view still.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
But then it ends, and
well, nobody's seen what was coming. Nobody's seen this coming.
I mean, there was speculation that Daniel Bryan
was coming. Yes,
Bryan Danielson was coming. I wasn't even sure that he was going to be at this pay-per-view. I wasn't sure. There's people speculating, but I'm like, I don't know. They're just bringing Punk back. Maybe they'll give it some time. I know he was.
I mean, they blew it all. Pretty much blew it. They blew it all in one pay-per-view.
Yep. Then Adam Cole, baby, comes out, and you're thinking he's gonna, feud against the Elite or Kenny Omega.
I didn't see that one.
And then nope, no. I mean, yeah, I thought he would have had a 90-day clause or something, and he clearly did not.
Yeah, apparently what happened was he signed a contract extension not that long ago to finish out the Kyle O'Reilly program.
Okay.
And when they did the contract extension, they didn't factor in a no-compete clause.
They are fucking dumb as fuck anymore. They are so dumb.
Right?
That's why Vince is pulling his hair out, because he got a bunch of idiots.
That's why Triple H is having heart attacks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they said it was a genetic thing, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself,
stress.
Nah, man.
Yeah, he's stressed. It's a genetic jackhammer.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
his father-in-law is stressing him out and ruining everything he's done.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's bad. It is bad. But anyway, then after that, you're Kenny Omega's doing his goodbye and good night, and then the infamous music hits.
Yeah, you got two major showings in less than a minute and a half apart. That is NWO Hogan turn fucking shit, except for the, you know what I mean, with that kind of speculation and shock value in my eyes. Like, I remember when Hogan turned, I watched it live, and this was having two major, you just had him on WrestleMania in the fucking main event. Huge. Huge.
Yeah.
At least, unlike the Hogan turn, you didn't have Bobby Heenan saying, "There's Adam Cole. Is Bryan Danielson going to come out next?"
Right. Yeah. Right.
But I mean,
Jim Ross. You never know about Jim Ross. Though.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Or that Excalibur fucking asshole.
Oh, Excalibur's not that bad.
No.
Excalibur. He's at least with it. He knows all the moves.
For play-by-play, he's full of information. I love that.
I like him
too. Take the fucking mask off.
You don't see it.
Yeah, you don't got to look at him.
He's a white Lucha Libre. That's his white
gimmick.
Lucha Libre heritage. He can't take the
He fucks up stuff too. He's just like Jim Ross sometimes.
Oh, no, he's not.
No. Jim Ross can't even pronounce the names right half the time.
Hey, but he's with Reba, so he's cool.
Oh,
Jim Ross is always liking the hot chicks, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a thirsty old dude.
Yeah.
But did either of you guys think that Danielson was going to happen after Cole came out?
No. Not at all.
Nope.
Yeah. And then when he came out, the only thing that could even be construed as a disappointment, I was really hoping he would come out to the final countdown, like in his Ring of Honor days. Like, I thought that was, whenever they brought him in, I thought that's what they were going to do.
They didn't, because it cost so much money for like one-time use, and it cost that time for one use. You only got.
I mean, Orange Cassidy is a Pixies song. Jungle Boy is.
But you get to use it more than once. It's one time for like big money. You got to pay it every time you use it.
No wonder Homer City didn't have any money for anything, because that's the only thing the 7 members of the band could play at every freaking pep rally. That's the only freaking song they knew. That's it. One song, the final countdown.
Well,
but my goodness, I don't even care to hear the final countdown again. But I tell you what, people are probably going to disagree with me on this, but I do not like Jon Moxley coming out to Wild Thing. I do not like it.
You don't either.
It just doesn't.
What would he come out to?
Just something generic. I mean, I
don't care. Just not Wild Thing.
Hey, Moxley beat fucking Cardone the other night.
I don't think everybody needs to come out to
anything
licensed music. Honestly, like,
well, they don't have anybody doing their license. They don't have anybody doing their music, so they don't have to pay. He pays a lot of money. You know what, Moxley? You know what, Moxley's the highest paid worker, because Tammy fucking looked on her. She was adding all this up. She's like, you know what, Jon Moxley's the highest paid worker in AEW. I'm like, I didn't know that. He gets like millions and millions of dollars.
No, I'm sure.
And then
we're
everybody
over
else.
Time, gentlemen.
Oh, darn it!
We'll let this go a few minutes.
Thanks, boss.
Just because it's AEW and it was a big night. But what I really would like to get into here is just NXT. Okay. So now Vince and Pritchard have taken over, and now they come out with this weird logo with like erratic tie-dye-ish colors, and like I guess they're rebranding. So I'm just kind of curious where all that's going.
Everybody that's old will be gone.
What I heard yesterday is there's reports now that Vince and Pritchard aren't taking over. That was a story that got put out there and ran with before the details were really there. Who knows? It wouldn't surprise me. But either way, I mean, like the things we heard from Vince say, whether he's taken over or not, that he doesn't want 30-year-olds and midgets in there. Whether he said that or not, I don't know. But I'm sure
I bet he did. I bet you Gargano's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And Gargano can go to
here's
AEW.
The thing. Hey, well, here's the thing. They can't take them all. They can't take them all.
Impact. Go to Impact. Go to Impact.
Now Wyatt. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt. And you know that the Dark Order's kind of feuding with each other. And Bray Wyatt's probably going to come out and he's going to bring them all back together again, right?
Yep.
Which I don't have a problem with. I know, Cable, you didn't want it to happen. I'm fine with it.
I think they should unite to face him. I think that's what should bring them back together, is that they have to face him. But yeah, that's my little thing.
Oh, that's good.
I like
that.
Over.
I like that.
I kind of like him taking over.
I like that idea.
Well, I like either idea, but I think him taking over the Dark Order is just everybody assumes that's too. It's too easy, or whatever.
I like that because they don't want anybody else but Brody Lee, and they don't want anybody else but his son doing it.
As close as they were, I think that they'd be okay with it. I don't know, but that's a possibility, and I think he might come. Like you mentioned, Cable, in the group chat the other day about Kevin Owens is gonna, his contract's probably gonna be done sooner rather than later.
They're all gonna go. They're all gonna go eventually. Because it's easier and it's nicer and it's the environment. Like you could talk about pro wrestling without being labeled, and Adam Cole,
a superstar.
Adam Cole can do his Twitch channel, whatever the hell that is, without any repercussions from Vince.
And you can see already all these guys that are jumping. They want to wrestle.
They want to wrestle,
right? And that was the big selling point for Brian Danielson. He even said it. And like what you said, Mav, they were going to let him work some Japan dates. And his PR friendly way of saying this was that Vince is he cares too much. He's too overprotective. Vince doesn't want him working a true wrestling style. He doesn't want him, and that's how they are. Apparently Vince hates the NXT style to the point where when guys get called up to the main roster, he wants them basically retrained. Mm-hmm. And another report that came out is that Vince and the WWE want to lean towards bringing people in that have never wrestled.
Terrible.
Because they want to mold them from scratch.
They just signed that Olympian.
They won't have any clue. All those guys that they signed in the Performance Center that never worked a match is stupid because they have no idea how to work matches, and it's all going to be WWE concept. And they never put a ring together. They never been on the road. They never fucking worked an indie show. They never did any of that shit. It'll just get so watered down.
Did you see what their plans for Cole were? Adam Cole?
He's going to be a manager.
They were going to make him a manager. That's why I left.
I'd have fucking rolled out too.
I forget.
Keith Lee.
Oh, yeah. They're going to
make
Keith Lee's manager.
The three of us can come up with better concepts and book better than any of those fucking guys. So if they're listening to the show, hire us and we can get you some ratings.
And shout out to you, Mav. I love your Instagram post. Hopefully this doesn't send us on another 30-minute tirade. But yeah, Mick Foley hit the nail on the head. Guys that want to work and that don't want to be looked like a fool, they're going to want to go to AEW.
He's catching heat for that video. WWE's giving him heat. He don't give a fuck.
Sometimes the truth freaking hurts.
I know. They tell me I'm heavy, and I was like, no, I'm not heavy. I'm husky. And they're like, Bubba, the truth hurts. And I'm like, well, then fuck you.
He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
I'm husky. I don't even care. Like WWE anymore is just so like a couple of the guys, AJ Styles, Cesaro. I feel bad for Cesaro. I feel bad for Cesaro and McIntyre.
AJ loves it. I don't get it. I mean, I know he's getting up there.
Because I think they let AJ do whatever he wants.
Well, I think AJ is just old enough that he still has that mentality of WWE is the pinnacle. Like you want to be the WWE guy, you want to have the WrestleMania matches, but that's going to change.
And all said, the AEW pay-per-view is great. AEW is great. I am getting concerned, though. Like I said, with how big the roster is, I know they're going to be elsewhere wrestling and working too as things open up more, but I am concerned. Especially if the rumors are true about them having creative control and this and that. So I'm worried about the power struggle. I'm worried about the size of the roster. I get why they're signing these guys, but it is concerning.
They're taping Rampage, though. Rampage is not live every week.
Hour.
It's not live every week, and they have to expand that, but that's just taped. It's not every week, though. So they need to expand that to 2 hours and still do their YouTube stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Make that 2 hours. And then having that deep roster, like I think the guys, especially with a lot of these guys that aren't fully seasoned veterans, they're learning while they're doing this. They're working some house shows and they're doing the dark and the dark elevation. And I'm sure, Tony has talked to them and said, hey, you're not going to be on TV every single week, but you're part of this roster. You fill out the card, you'll have your spots. And I don't know if everybody, I don't know if it's a creative control thing or it's just that they listen to their ideas.
Well, they also
I'm not sure how that works.
They can do indie stuff, but also they're doing the TV taping in Orlando studios, AEW. That's another avenue that the younger guys will be getting on there because they want to do stuff like 605 on TBS. And that's why I know you guys don't like him, but that's why they want to do stuff because he gave a promo shout out to Bobby Eaton, which Cornette has actually slowed down his role of bashing AEW so much. But a lot of guys he has because they're smaller, and if you listen to his podcast, he tells you, but they have that
I understand that. But
they have that taping. They have that taping. But people sometimes want to see wrestlers that they can't physically kick their ass though if they're only 5'2". Sometimes, sometimes that's why Vince wants to make a larger than life, but not everybody can be larger in life, and you got to have good wrestling, and that's where that is going to be the AEW concept is the great wrestling action inside the ring.
Well, here's the thing. Two things on Jim Cornette and Vince McMahon at this point is the business has surpassed them. You have to adapt or perish, and they're not willing to adapt from the old school style that they know. So that's biting them in the ass. And nobody's going to take them seriously. Nobody's going to listen to them because AEW's product's way better. And yes, their guys can be undersized. We talked about it earlier, Jungle Boy, but he has it. And if you're going to judge somebody based on their size solely, then I'm telling you, it's going to bite you in the ass. He never thought anything of Daniel Bryan.
No,
Vince tried holding Rey Mysterio back for the longest time. He didn't think anything of CM Punk.
The only thing they have to do, that AEW has to sell out bigger venues. That is if they sell out bigger venues of stadium stuff, outdoor big huge stadiums, then Vince can worry. Till they're not 20,000, 25, 30.
Listen.
I hope they get it. I hope they get it.
This is wrestling. This isn't sports entertainment. They're here to cater to the people that love professional wrestling. Yes, some of them may be trolls on the internet. Some of them may be marks, but they're here to cater to people that love professional wrestling. They're not here to cater to people like the casual fans. They're not here to cater to celebrities. And they don't want to just bring in people once a year for WrestleMania because they brought in a celebrity.
But they got to have ratings. They got to get the ratings, which it's okay.
The ratings are pretty good.
The ratings are damn good.
But if it's not a
it's not ratings world like it used to be either.
I know, but you never know. You would want a bigger chunk because you never know when the bottom falls out.
I get it, but you can't compare what they're doing to the numbers of WC or of WWE at this point because I don't. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. Once
they get to a 2, I'd be a little bit more happy with a 2. What can get them to a 2 is what I want to know.
I'm completely content with them being able to work their craft and the wrestlers that they have. And if they build, great. That's great. I would like to see them expand too, but I don't want them to turn into another sports entertainment company that just caters to casual fans.
That's why they're so popular right now, is because they're doing what they're doing, and there's a hunger for that from fans that are tired of what WWE's doing. And another thing that's going to help them, and this could be complete bullshit, this is just a thing that's making the rounds. I hear whispers that they might work out a deal with HBO Max. So, that'll open all kinds of doors, if that's true. I don't know if it is or not.
I didn't hear that, but yeah, I mean.
What are they looking to do?
I don't know if it would be like events or if it would be like a library or both.
That's why they're doing a lot of the YouTube stuff, because they need a library, because they want to do their own channel. But honestly, give me a 2-point in the ratings, and then give me a stadium or a bigger 25. Give me 20,000 to 25,000. Because give me that. Give me that.
But here's the thing: wrestling isn't. I mean, we're never going to. I don't ever see us getting back to the wrestling where it's the Attitude Era ever again. And I think we need to.
They might. What about if Vince pulls the fucking cord and they have to? We're seeing an Attitude Era right now without the sex on AEW, with the language and the violence and the blood. There's blood in like every match anymore. It might be the hard way, but I mean, they're lacing up their gloves.
Right. But I think maybe, not to put words in Mav's mouth, but I think what he's meaning is, wrestling's not going to get to that pop culture stage it was. Because like, you go back to the 90s, like,
I'm giving you something
Austin, The Rock, they were on TV guides. Like, you go to the store, they're on TV guides. Like, they're everywhere. They're guests, cameoing on sitcoms and stuff. Like,
right. Well, we didn't have
a very niche thing now.
We didn't have the streaming stuff, and you didn't have to compete against 100 shows where you just had to compete against the NFL. But like I said, get them two, and then get them bigger stadiums. But who do they to build up? So next year at this time, we're talking on the show, and they had a 2, and they're selling 20 to 25,000, because you still need you need kids too, because kids enjoy it. I've seen some kids, but it's a cult. It's a cult kind of thing, like ECW-ish kind of, where you get.
How much was All Out? What was their attendance? I thought
I have to look it up.
15. It was $60 to watch it.
Okay. Well, yeah. I thought that stadium held like 20. But I think they're doing good. Like,
oh no, yeah. I'm with you guys. I enjoy it, but I'm just for to bring it to the stages of trying to talk about it. There's, they do have a little bit too much, but how do they get to a 2 and then they get to 25,000 people and get an outdoor show? And realistically,
people know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they got to build it, but then also too, you still want the kids. And you want families are watching it at home. Why can't families go watch AEW? Because it's like a cult thing to me, though, when I saw the shows I've been to. Not a lot of kids, though. That's another
aspect of what they're doing with the signings. Like, you bring Bryan Danielson in, one of the biggest still working names that has that kind of wide grasp. CM Punk, Adam Cole, not so much. But, like, they're bringing guys in now that are going to possibly bring fans over from WWE, because they miss seeing Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, and if they sign Bray Wyatt, bring him over, you're going to have these guys that like these people that grew up watching WWE for the last 10 years, some of their favorite wrestlers, they can only see them if they watch AEW, so that's why I think a second part of, besides putting on such a good product, is bringing those guys over. Maybe even if they don't have the room for them, it's still going to help them in the long run.
Well, just to answer your question here before we wrap this up, but the attendance for All Out was 10,126.
Oh, shit.
So
I thought it was at least 15 or something.
Well, that's still good.
That venue is just, it is what it is.
That's okay, I didn't know. I thought it held like 15. But yeah, they gotta. Yeah.
But the pay-per-view buys were through the roof, and
they're doing everything right.
They need to not fall into the trap of what WCW was, where the roster's too big, the creative control. But it does feel like almost a WCW-esque, and I can't help but feel that because Cody Rhodes, learned from his old man in a lot of ways, but it does feel like when they're bringing the Japanese stars. It does feel like when they're bringing in the Lucha star. Like, it has that feel to it, but it's all guys that can work, right? So it feels really good right now. I just don't also want them to fall into the trap that WWE, where it's just sports entertainment and you're just bringing in people just to,
But they're not doing comedy shit, which is cool too. And the promos
which I don't mind. I love to laugh. That's why I
like to laugh too, but also I like the serious stuff. I like to laugh too, but sometimes it's serious. Like, hey, I'm going to seriously kick your ass. I'm not going to have R-Truth 24/7 thing while you're doing a promo.
Right, it's ridiculous. But I'll take Brandon Cutler being straight.
I mean, that's funny, but like I said, just got to get to a two, and now they got to get 15. They got to get to a place where they're making 15,000 instead of 10.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all. I like it.
They need to grow, but I don't want them to grow too big to where they're
it'd be like
they fall into that trap. Yeah, it's just not.
Fast. I mean, you can grow too fast too.
Yeah. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about that. To be honest with you.
Well,
especially the roster.
Well, if they use the TV taping. They use the TV taping with the young talent and expose them on that stuff and keep the names, and then you work up you're working towards up, I guess. I mean,
I was concerned, Mav, and I'm not going to say I'm not completely unconcerned, but with the guys they brought in and the audience that's going to bring, and, everybody could be saying this just to get themselves over and have the PC answer, but the guys that they brought in, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, they want to help. Like it feels like AEW, everybody is trying to help everybody, at least for now. They
want to help, but keep in mind these were all some of them did go into WWE and reach some heights and the pinnacle, so to speak. But keep in mind, a lot of these guys are straight from ROH, and they didn't draw those numbers. So I'm just saying, but they got to be able to create new stars, even with the CM Punks and Daniel Bryans and all that. They need to keep the momentum with Jungle Boys, the Darby Allens. Well, they need to, get these, these new guys in there too.
The thing is, though, guys, they're signing independent wrestlers, where WWE now will not sign any independent wrestlers at all. So if you're an independent wrestler, this is the only avenue that you have, that in Impact and Ring of Honor, because you'll never get into fucking WWE. If you've been a fucking wrestler, you're not getting shit now. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm serious about this. If it wasn't for doing this stuff with you guys, the Peacock network would be completely canceled. I'm serious. I'm sick of it. I'm over it.
I don't even Yellowstone.
I don't care about WWE's product enough. It doesn't hold my attention. I barely watch it.
I know. Right? I'm the same way. I watch it so we talk about this, so we have something to talk about, because everybody and their brother is doing the same thing. So everybody's a wrestling critic, but sometimes, and that's why it's good in America, but realistically, I think our show's better. So,
like what you're saying, Mav, I keep the Peacock to watch old stuff, but if AEW came out with their own streaming, in a heartbeat.
Well, what did I tell you the other day? I should just cancel the Peacock and save the money I'm spending on that and just buy the AEW pay-per-views that are 5 times a year or something. Yeah. And here's another thing, real quick, because we're way over.
That's okay.
We're way over.
Sorry.
But the thing of it is, AEW does it right. They're not forcing themselves a pay-per-view every month. Much as I love watching pay-per-views, but AEW is doing it right because they're building up to the pay-per-view for every 3 months or whatever it is.
That's the way it should be.
And that means there's more meaningful matches on Dynamite and Rampage, etc. But they're using those to build up to the pay-per-view matches.
And it makes people want to buy more.
Exactly.
Well, WWE actually every month is a pay-per-view, and it's all
remember there was
anyway.
2? There was 2 a month. At one point.
Terrible.
But
we can sit here and debate.
A good thing's a bad thing.
Well, yeah, but honestly, it is. I never seen so much aftermath about, because Labor Day. That's all was on social media, was this AEW pay-per-view. Everything was this AEW pay-per-view on every social media. It was the hottest pay-per-view I've seen since since probably Hogan went down and gave the leg drop. And I've seen a lot of pay-per-views. I've seen everything.
Oh yeah, and like I said, guys, they're not doing anything new. They're giving the fans what they want, but they're not giving them complete fan service either, right? But they're giving, and it feels fresh to us because we've been screwed over, and we've been
kicked aside, spit on
by Vince McMahon for how many years? And we just got force-fed the John Cena's of the world and the Roman Reigns, which I don't mind Roman Reigns as much as you guys.
But honestly, though, Mav, you like to watch guys that you like. You don't want someone telling you have to like them.
Exactly.
And that's what we've been dealing with for many years. Like, no one told me, hey, Bubba, you got to like fucking Jungle Boy, or hey, Bubba, you got to like Luchasaurus, or Bubba, you what are you liking Darby Allin for? You need to like Darby Allin because it's Darby Allin and MJF and fucking Sammy Guevara. I like those guys because I fucking like them, not because someone's fucking shutting it down my fucking throat. Like, you got to like us or you're, sorry.
Exactly. And in turn, people hate, like, people love the Young Bucks, right? But they're still booing them. They're booing them because it's almost a respect or a sign of endearment. They're supposed to. Do that again, Cable? I'll do it from the other side. We can
you guys are fucking like our twins. You guys fucking probably have a nose ring and tennis shoes and.
Well, we were.
That's going to be our Halloween costume.
There you go.
I'm trick or treating at your house.
I'll give you candy.
I had the handlebar mustache before Nick Jackson did.
It's true.
He came out with that like a week after me. I was like, what the fuck? So now I got Kenny Omega again.
But I'm saying, guys, they're just AEW's just. I don't know. They're doing it right for me.
Doing it right. Like you said, it's not rocket science.
No,
they're just doing it right.
It's the only wrestling I watched live. Everything else is fucking streamed or whatever. It's the only wrestling I watch live, so that tells you a lot too.
Same.
But yeah, good talk, guys.
Wow, we're over the time. Woo!
I let it go only because it was AEW.
I understand.
Next,
is that just by a little bit, huh?
Next time, when we're back to talking about Marvel and stuff like that, that's all you get. 45 minutes. Okay. Daddy rules here. Okay. No, anyway, good chat, guys. I love the pay-per-view. It was great. So, but next week or whenever we get to this next, we will be talking about some other things.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Steelers season's coming. Marvel stuff is coming. Mav's got to get back on. He's a little bit behind on the movies, but that's okay.
I'll get there.
You'll get there, and we will wait till you do. But
Patriots,
subscribe. What'd you say?
Patriots season.
Yeah, that was a good movie with Mel Gibson. Bubba
and the Mountain Dew is key.
Hey, look, guys, we're keep doing our shows. The Triple B Experience on the YouTube. We got 71. I'm trying to get to 100. I enjoy all the stuff that we're doing. We got a lot of content out there. Just hit like, subscribe, share, get us going. And that's all I'm going to say because I'm going to let these guys take us out because I have to work the controls to shut us off. So everybody, thank you.